welcome to another edition of the live Tuesday night Pittsburgh Sportsline TV show in the BP TV studio. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry and Wexford and all the points in between. We appreciate you. I thought I was going to announce a new high, Smoking Jim. On Facebook, we had 6,546, one more from yesterday, and it went back to 6,545. So who knows what happened? Somebody likes us, then they didn't like us. But we appreciate all those likes, folks. Thanks for doing that. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. We got Chip Hayner and Smoking Jim Frazier chewing on a little of the Olive Oil's Pizzeria. We appreciate that. They sponsor our show. And we have a lot of sports to talk about with you. I got some promos to put up here. I'll do that. Why don't I start right now? That way Smoking Jim can... I heard him crunching that piece of pizza, man. It sounded good. All right, we'll start with a couple promos here right off the bat. We always say, stay Joey strong. There's little Joey, didn't make it to his 9th birthday. The Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. It's a 501c3. You can donate as little as $1. Check out their events. Somebody was asking me how the 5K run and walk went. And I said it went well. We filmed it. Always good. Hall of Famer Frank Fabus was at the show last night. We've got the Bethel Park Historical Society Art and History Center. They do have 107 new windows. I met the owners of Metropolitan Window Company at the Bethel Bounty. That was the Community Foundation big fundraiser. Was talking to them for a few minutes. Thanked them for their windows. Here's this. Olive Oil's Pizzeria, 412-831-1900. Thank you for sponsoring our show. It was delicious tonight. Enjoyed that pizza and hoagie. I don't know how Smoking Jim's doing it.
It's a vegan pizza.
Just a little shout out to Jamie Chesney. Smoking Jim, he doesn't call it lying, but he said he was going to start being a vegetarian today, and he said go green. The only thing, he'll go green in a minute or so when I toss him the pen. But he's eating that pepperoni, bacon, and sausage pizza. I think he bit a finger, too. But the BPCF, that's Bethel Park Community Foundation, has money for you. $100 to $5,000 for your group in Bethel Park to help you guys do the good things you do in the community. So check it out. Get an application online for bpcf.org. Then last but not least, Dave Cable likes to have a little fun. Put me on Uncle Sam's figure. I want you for BPTV. We got Devin Shea here. We got Steve, the Rookie of the Year Fisher here. And that's how you're getting to see us on this TV show. We just do the talk, and they make us look good. So thank you. Call 412-831-3304. Talk to Dave Cable. Say you want to be a volunteer and help with the cameras, soundboard, different things in the area when we do shows. So check it out. Thank you very much. Then before we get started, I want to thank Skeets Lewandowski of Skeets Service Station for sponsoring our What's on Your Mind. And he does that. Skeets Service Station works on all kind of cars, trucks, anything that runs on gas. They even have a forge now. They can make knives and axes and all kind of things. So they got a forge set up there, just put some heat there. Just an amazing place right past Trax Farm and Mineral Beach, right on 88. Phone number 724-348-4715. Give Skeets a call and hey, he'll help fix your lawnmower as you put it to sleep, because my neighbor just got his grass cut the other day. I got to do one more cutting now to keep up with him. But I'll have to see what happens there. And we're not going to talk cutting grass with Chip here.
I know, because I cut grass in January, see.
Yeah. I usually try to put mine to sleep in December here, but we'll see what happens. I may get another cutting in.
My lawn's on steroids.
Okay. Smoking Jim Frazier Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
This is the real green, J.D. Chesney.
you got to see Levine. Go green.
Nice
but,
green hat.
That's
Who
his
gave
vegan,
you that
that's
hat?
his vegan pen.
Yeah.
Hey, one-
Here, let
one-
me eat this.
Once my leaves start falling, I got to rake leaves. I'm done cutting grass, so I've been done for a long time now.
Get out.
But,
Really?
Yeah, and just a couple updates from last week. Some people have been asking me questions because I mentioned quite a few former NFL players that will never get in the Hall of Fame long as I'm on a committee. And I forgot to leave out that the 89 state championship team, Perry team, will never get in. And as of now, Curtis Martin is off my list indefinitely. He will definitely not get in next year.
What happened?
And the only way he gets in, he's going to have to give me a call and talk his way in. But he's definitely off for next year, even if he calls me tomorrow. So,
Hold it,
what's
you
on?
don't even answer your phone. It's a text only.
That's it.
How's he going to get a hold of you?
That's it. He better
But
be
he's good
creative.
enough for Canton, but he's not good enough for you.
That's right.
All right. Just wanted to make sure I was straight.
That's right.
What did he beat up Gateway players too?
He's out of it. I don't think it's important enough for him. Seemed like the NFL Hall of Fame is more important to him than forgetting where he came from, so he's out. But just to go
Wow.
over, hey,
Go ahead.
I have a little beef with the WPIAL. Just wanted to go over the list again. I adjusted my list a little bit. Pine Ridgeland, I think, is going to win. I'll be there at all the games on Saturday. I'm so glad that Single A and A won't be there. I hate wasting my time with club football. One upset is in 4A. South Fayette got beat by Montour. Great Pittsburgh Sports Line karma. Brandon Lifford is with Montour now.
Is
He
he?
had a couple of touchdowns to knock off South Fayette in overtime. So it looks like, and I also blew it with Bell Vernon, Thomas Jefferson strong again. So Thomas Jefferson will probably beat Montour. I have to adjust it again in 3A. I had Aliquippa beating Quaker Valley. I'm going to switch that to Quaker Valley beating Aliquippa. I'll talk more about that later on in the show.
I won't
And-
interrupt you then. Okay.
And in 5A, I already got Gateway penciled in as beating Penn Trafford. But the problem that I have with the WPIAL is that I believe that nobody, and I think I speak for everybody that's watching, nobody cares about the PIAA or state championships. It's all about the WPIAL. I believe Gateway's the best team in the state. Other people believe Pine Ridgeland's the best team in the state. How about a week after the game for all the marbles, Gateway versus Pine Ridgeland? Walker, what's Walker?
Why would they even do that?
Brady.
Huh?
Brady
No,
Walker.
not. Well, we already know he's great, but the other Walker that's not quite as great as Brady Walker that plays Major League Baseball.
Neil.
Neil Walker's coming in to do the Pine Ridgeland game. He's an alumnus, one of the best wide receivers ever seen. Had a full scholarship to Clemson before Clemson got great. He'd have helped put him on the map, but he chose baseball. What a good move! But he was a great wide receiver for Pine Ridgeland. And I think the world would love to see Gateway versus Pine Ridgeland a week afterwards.
First Gateway's got to prove that they can beat Penn Trafford. They haven't done it yet.
They're going to beat Penn Trafford like they stole something.
No, but I looked back a few weeks ago. Score was on the different end of that, huh?
Well, Gateway, in my opinion, when Gateway beats Pine Ridgeland, they'll finish with a perfect season, undefeated season, because they
Your
revenge that.
alternative facts.
They
There you
revenge.
go.
They would have revenged that
Oh,
loss.
we got any top players?
No top players this week. They're all going to be at Heinz Field, so no Pittsburgh Sports Line players of
Just
the week this
checking because
week.
people are interested in that.
I'm a little sad. He rushed for over 100 yards in his last game.
So,
Rochester, Caleb Collins, they went down in overtime. Lost.
being a big Whippeal fan, as you have been, being down at Heinz Field for how many years in a row, okay?
Be my
Does it
first
bother
year
you
without
that
Coach
it's not the
Anna
day after Thanksgiving?
Well, I'll be there the day after Thanksgiving. I'll probably be covering this year because of the friends of the show, because of Al Levine, the Talking Machine, and the exposure I've been getting with this show. Friends of the show with Amani Christian Academy. They're probably going to be playing in the Class A championship. No, I got them getting killed this week by California, but I will be at the game. It's at Robert Morris. But no, that's a shame that it's not the day after Thanksgiving, even though I got family coming in from all over the country.
So in other words, next the day after Thanksgiving, we can watch Pitt get trampled by the U.
Used to be Penn State. Now they're playing the U the day after.
Day after, yeah. It's their last game of the season.
Is that the Friday?
At noon, yeah.
Wow. The 25th is what? That's a Saturday. I think those games at Robert Morris is a Saturday. If not, I'm going to have to cover the game from my house.
Eat some of Mama's sweet potato pie.
The 25th is Saturday. The 24th is a Pitt game.
All right.
What did I tell you about
the busiest
Miami
man
last week?
You called
Smoking Jim is the busiest man in Pittsburgh media. Glad we could be a small part of that, Smoking Jim. All right, well, thank you. Appreciate that, Smoking Jim. Chip Hayner, what's on your mind?
Oh, thank you, Alan, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to our humble sports talk show. And you asked me what's on my mind, and, once again, it's the sorry state of the NFL that seems to have my thoughts and everything else captured. And I just want to, give a quick overlay of some of the things that are going on in the No Fun League that is... well, I think the Goose has stopped laying golden eggs for them. Let's put it that way. Television ratings are down and continue to plummet. Much to the amazement of my dear friend Jim Frazier. But you think about some of the reasons why. The ratings drop, and there's just so many things that are going on that have nothing to do with the game being played on the field. And, you wonder why some discipline is enforced against one person for one thing, and no discipline is enforced against other players for egregious offenses. And what am I talking about? I have no idea. No, what am I talking about? I'm talking about you've got Ezekiel Elliott, who has never been proven to be a domestic abuser, but he was accused of domestic abuse. The NFL investigated it. They've suspended him. It's only taken him 9 weeks to get the suspension upheld. Okay, so now he's being suspended, and I think the Cowboys are looking really kind of foolish now. Should have just 8 to 6 game suspension early in the year and had him in the the playoff run.
Yeah.
But okay, Jerry Jones has got a thing against Roger Goodell. Well, here's the thing. Jerry Jones is trying to put a halt to Roger Goodell's contract renegotiation, which it seems to be going the way that Roger wants it to go. Because he's done such a bang-up job, he's turned the NFL from a $9 billion a year franchise into a $15 billion a year franchise. Now the money's starting to go backwards again, but Roger thinks, well, you know what? I think I'm worth $49.5 million and a private jet to use for the rest of my life, as well as health care for me, my wife, my children, their children, and moving all forward. Which all seems kind of ridiculous because Roger Goodell has stated multiple times that his main interest is for the health and safety of his players. And that couldn't be a bigger line of bull crap if I heard of one. Because let's just take, for example, Thursday Night Football. Thursday Night Football, the players don't like it. The coaches don't like it. The only people that like it is the NFL because for that Thursday night game, they get paid $900 million for that Thursday night game. So almost $1 billion for the last contract that they just had for Thursday Night Football. Now the players are all saying, and even Ben came out yesterday saying he hates Thursday night games. He'd wish they'd do away with them. But then you hear Ramon Foster this morning say, well, wait a minute. We're getting paid extra money to play those games on Thursday. Let's rethink this, not play it on Thursday, because the players, in their greed, don't want to give up any of their money. And the owners, in their greed, don't don't want to give up any of their money. So ultimately,
Well, what kind
something's
of
going to
extra
happen.
money are they getting on Thursday?
I don't know what the exact
Yeah,
figure
'cause-
is, but I've heard it mentioned and alluded to by not only the players but the press. So where there's smoke, there's fire. So
Makes sense.
which has absolutely nothing to do with player safety, because playing a game of football, my dear friend Jim will probably remembers this from the days when he played, but you are involved in a football game. It's like you're involved in like 50 or 60 automobile accidents every week.
Look at my man.
And, it takes more than 2 or 3 days for a
Look at
body to heal from that kind of abuse. And sometimes they're not even completely healed a
Look
week
at
after
my
the
man.
game. Okay?
Yeah.
So,
He hasn't made it back yet.
so right there, the interest in players' health and safety is no good. Now, in the last 2 weeks, how many players got knocked out of the game, were told to go into the concussion protocol, refused to, went right back out on the field? There was an incident with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
These are the rules. People were not abiding by them.
What happened with Rivers? Rivers put himself into the concussion protocol.
And other
They
people
missed his first game in years.
And what punishments are being meted out to these teams, to the coaching staffs, or to the players that refuse to follow the protocol?
protocol, yeah.
Nothing
The
whatsoever.
Blue Hats are losing out.
Okay, next we've got, in the last, I believe, 3 to 4 weeks, we've had 2 players that were ejected for games for making contact with a referee. Neither player was suspended. They were fined. And one of the most egregious offenders, our good friend Vontez Burfict, got ejected from the game for hitting a referee on Sunday. And no suspension. So we just kind of reward this kind of behavior. And Vontez Burfict, he just got a $32 million contract extension.
I love it.
He's writing the NFL another check, and he's laughing at them, flipping them the middle finger, and telling them like, "Hey, I'm going to do whatever I please. Your rules don't
Well,
mean
now his
anything to
coach
me."
come out and said the referees may have been picking on him.
Oh,
I agree with that.
yeah, and
I'm just saying.
that's what I mean. It is so ridiculous in the NFL that it used to be. I love to watch a game on Sunday afternoon. There's so much BS that goes on from Monday through Saturday that I don't want to know about. I don't care about. Social media. They should ban them all from being it. But the NFL is in a bad way. They need to find some way to right the ship. And I think the golden days of the NFL have passed.
Well, all I got to say is for $900 million, how about playing Friday nights too? They're only a piece of meat.
That the ratings keep dropping, and when
I
the
don't believe
ratings drop,
don't
the
believe it.
sponsors
don't
will
believe it.
stop paying.
don't
It's
believe it.
real, Jim.
don't
I mean,
believe
whether
none
you
of
want to
that.
believe it or not.
I don't believe that. People are watching on their phone and all kind of other stuff that you can't track.
I know I'm not. You know what? I saw the Steelers kick a field goal to win the game. I was busy making money on Sunday. I was out doing things. I mean, I got better things to do than waste my day sitting around watching the NFL.
And I missed that kick, too. I went to the Bethel Bounty fundraiser.
He watched the rest of the game.
Congratulations on that Levine the Tiger Machine.
It's one of the biggest events for the Community Foundation, right at Crown Plaza. A lot of good food to eat, stuff like that. Thanks, Chip. I appreciate that. Can't say that I disagree with you like Smoking Jim Frazier. I agree with you. But the problem is when they only make about $13 billion, they'll pay the guy $49.5 million a year, and they'll give him health care to his family for the rest of their lives. He'll get a jet for the rest of his life. And Jerry Jones is just stirring up stuff. One owner out of 32. It's a little bit difficult to get rid of Goodell with just one owner against them.
Well, there was some talk about some NFL owners lobbying to take control of the Dallas Cowboys away from Jerry Jones.
Yeah, there's rumors to that, but that's hard to do, though. But it's
sure.
worth $4 billion. So if they force them to sell, that's really going to be a handicap to them. Like they did to the owner, the racist basketball
LA
owner.
Clippers,
Yeah.
$2 billion.
Silver,
Yeah.
or no, what was his name? I can't even remember his name. He was hot.
Well, you took my Big Ben thing because I liked how Big Ben come out crying about Thursday nights. The drama queen had to speak, but I'll leave that alone. Chip covered that. He's definitely against it. He keeps throwing this high ball. All year long, he's thrown the high ball. He really hasn't been in the great quarterback, situation that he's been. He's had open receivers, missed them, and enough of that. What got my interest is even President Trump had to help some basketball players out today. Alonzo Ball's son, I even forget what his name is. He's at UCLA right now. This huge company was sponsoring a tournament over there, Alibaba. Well, 3 of the players got caught shoplifting. Now, I don't know about in the United States, but it's illegal to shoplift, so I assume it's illegal to shoplift anywhere. And I assume you're going to UCLA, what do you need to shoplift? They got caught. They got kicked out of the country. They worked it all out. They're not going to jail. Trump even had to make a phone call. But now comes the next thing. We don't hear any penalties. They're talking possible suspensions of these kids. Because what kid is going around shoplifting and is responsible enough to be on a team? I think something should be done. Maybe they'll even be banned. They might not be one and done and go to the NBA. Something could happen. But 3 of the players, they're flying back. I think they're going to have a news conference tomorrow.
Good.
It just shows you the lack of respect that people have for themselves and their team. Why would you do something like that? That's all I ask is why. And that's what's on my mind. We'll be back with Fiction and Fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
One of the things we do at BPTV is encourage our producers to film on location. Not only does shooting on location give our producers the opportunity to take advantage of their subject matter, filming in different locations gives each program its own distinct flavor. This also helps anyone who's flipping through the channels avoid confusion when they turn on BPTV. With around 500 programs produced at BPTV each year, the last thing we want people to think is that we're only broadcasting one program. So, you need to come into BPTV to pitch your TV show, but in terms of where you actually end up taping your show, the sky's the limit.
Hi, Bethel Park. Uncle Al speaking. I'm asking you to come help us behind the scenes at BPTV. We're looking for some proud Bethel Park residents to help us make the shows that you want to watch. For more information, contact Station Director Dave Cable, and we will see you behind the cameras at BPTV.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine, and Chip.
You're welcome.
And just get back to the story over there in China. It was 3 of the basketball players on UCLA. They were trying to steal Louis Vuitton sunglasses. So I guess it's hard to pass up a deal like that. But it's a communist country. They're lucky they didn't get 10 years in jail, and that's hard time over there in a communist country.
Plus, they were fake Louis Vuittons.
I didn't know that.
Everything over there is fake.
In China or
Yeah.
Korea or Hong Kong?
Yeah.
The same thing?
Yes.
Okay.
It's all Asia.
Okay.
So
But,
that shows you that they're not the brightest guys that are at UCLA.
but you would figure his brother's making about $10 million a year in the NBA.
He's not
as a
giving
rookie.
anything to him.
And the baller brand. He got
Well,
part
yeah,
of that.
because his older brother is supporting the whole rest of the family because Dad's business venture is circling the bowl.
Oh, they got a reality. Plus, they got a reality show that was
How's
over
that
there.
going?
They're making money.
How's that
The
going?
reality show was part of that.
Oh, yeah, it's
so.
probably got better ratings than the NFL, huh?
But anyhow, the fiction and fact.
Why don't we get in the
Smoking
fiction
Jim's
and
Almanac is, I tell you what, it takes a lot to change my mind, but my mind had been changed in the last couple of weeks. Most people know that follow sports that nobody's tough ever come out of Swickley. And that's been a poor sports town for a long time. And this past weekend, the Quaker Valley, who's part of the Swickley School District, Youth Football League asked me to speak at their banquet
You're
on
kidding.
last Saturday. And I tell you what, the food was great, man. I kept going back and back. They had steak. There's some rich people live in Swickley.
Are
No.
you serious?
Yeah. But
Lynn Swan used to live there.
How'd
Vince
they let
Vaughn
you in?
And Jack Ham and all those people. So it was really an honor. You know, I was one of the few blacks who wasn't cooking in there. But I tell you what, it was a great time. But I'm changing my opinion now on Quaker Valley. The football coaches and the organization, I'm not just saying this because they invited me to speak. But, and I'm not saying this
You mean you're
because
sucking in with
and
them?
I'm not saying it again because they invited me back already for next year. But the things that they're doing in youth football, you're going to see a dynasty coming out of Swickley. I never thought I'd say that. I had Aliquippa beating Quaker Valley, who's never even made it to the playoffs before. I think Quaker Valley is not only going to beat Aliquippa, but I think they're going to blow them out. And I think that in 3 or 4 years, you're going to see a 4 or 5 year run with the Quaker Valley system. Their youth football team is so good. 2 of the teams didn't give up a point all year long.
Who'd they play?
Didn't give up a point all season long, and the other team won the championship, and the big team lost in the championship. So look for the Quaker Valley school system in Swickley to not only do a great job this year. I gave them the blueprint for winning championships.
What did you talk about to them?
Well,
I got to hear it. Give me a little taste.
Anytime it's kids, I come a little down hard on them, but I've never seen kids
What'd you say to them?
that was more well behaved. Well, first it was hard to take my eyes off their mamas. Some of the mamas were good, man. Yeah, brother. Don't let the rooster out in the hen house, man. Wow. I tell you what, I was the last one to leave, brother. But I tell you what, man.
You make us proud.
But I tell you what, the main thing is I gave the kids and the coaches a blueprint on how to win a championship. And I
Because they're
told them,
pieces of meat.
huh?
They're pieces of meat.
Well, they understood that.
As they're cutting into their 2-inch thick
yeah.
steaks.
And I let them know that the most important, the best years of their life is right now, youth football. And then the second best years of their life is high school football. And I let them know most of them won't play college football. But I let them know, I ain't going to lie to them, but I let them know the blueprint. They're starting to follow the blueprint of what you do to win a championship. The most important thing for winning a championship is to look up to the older guys ahead of you. Those are your mentors. So I told the youth football coaches, I had them all stand up, all white, and I told them that they need to take it one step further and make sure all the kids are at every high school home game at least.
Wow, that'll pack the stands.
They have that vision. When they see them kids play high school, these kids are going to want to be great high school players too, or want to do well, and that'll give them some incentive. And the coaches all agreed with me because I think they wanted the mic back. I think I was a little over my time, but
You're kidding.
it was a
talking
great time.
a lot. Wow.
I'm all in on Quaker Valley. I'm not saying it's going to be them against Aliquippa. It's going to be the Catholics versus the convicts, like Miami and Notre Dame, however they call it.
Last Saturday night.
Yeah, it ain't going to be that bad.
They
But,
got took out behind the woodshed.
yeah, but I look for quickly Quaker Valley to beat Aliquippa, and Aliquippa's only been scored on once this year. I think not only they're going to score on them, I think they're going to beat them real bad.
So they
With Pittsburgh Sports Line Karma gave you a shout out also.
Quaker
did.
Valley plays at Chuck Knox Stadium.
Yeah, good
and
job.
And what did they nickname his offense? Ground Chuck.
Ground Chuck, that's right. And Juniata College.
I almost went there.
Almost went there. That's Chuck Knox Stadium as well. So, but they playing the one here in Swickley, not
Yeah.
the one up there by
Yeah,
Happy
I
Valley.
know.
Yeah.
Thanks for the shout out.
I know Swickley.
I'm beginning to know Sewickley because there wasn't nobody ever tough come out of Sewickley. They starting to grow them tough now. Who ever thunk that?
They feed them well.
They feed them well, brother, and they got me coming back again next year. You got to come with me next year, LB, to talk machine. Food is good.
I can eat. I'll be there. Thanks, Smoking Jim.
Next year, I'm going to tuck in my shirt.
Well, I'm glad you're eating good in the hood. No vegetarian, I'm sure, on Saturday night. There was no vegetarian. Let's go to Chip Hayner now.
Oh, good evening, everybody. Welcome to my trivia segment. And now, as the baseball season has ended, now comes the award ceremonies that will be happening just about every night this week. Last night, the first of the awards that were handed out, a Pirate was up for the National League Rookie of the Year, and he came in third. Josh Bell came in third for the National League Rookie of the Year. So let me give you a little rundown on what the Rookie of the Year award is, what it's named, and a little bit of the history of
Can
it.
I ask you one question before you get in there, Chip? How's a second-year player eligible for the Rookie of the Year? Is that just baseball?
I'll explain that to
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Okay, that's all
wanna
part
hear
of what
that.
I've got here, and
Thank
I will get to that, and it'll be made crystal clear.
Maybe
to
he'll
you.
win it next year, Rookie of the Year.
No, he can't. He can't. The Rookie of the Year award, or Jackie Robinson Award, as it became known in 1987, is given to the individual player from each league who has the best rookie season, pitching, hitting, or fielding. That is during his first year of eligibility. Now, in Major League Baseball, the Rookie of the Year award is annually given to one player as voted by the BBWAA, which is the Baseball Writers Association of America. The Rookie of the Year award was established in 1940 by the Chicago chapter of the Baseball Writers, which selected an annual winner from 1940 through 1946. Winners of the originally established award appear at the bottom of this page. Nobody of very much consequence, to mention there.
All white?
I have no idea. The print is in black and white. So, I mean, The Rookie of the Year award became a national honor in 1947. Jackie Robinson of the Brooklyn Dodgers, second baseman, won the inaugural award. One award was presented for both leagues in 47 and 48. Since 1949, the honor has been given to one player from each the National and the American League. Originally, the award was officially known as the J. Lewis Comiskey Memorial Award. Named after
was
the
a white
Chicago
guy.
White Sox owner of the 1930s, and though it was commonly referred to as Rookie of the Year Award in the media, the award was officially renamed the Jackie Robinson Award in July 1987, 40 years after Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. Of the 128 players named Rookie of the Year, 16 have been elected to the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
Only 16.
5 American League players and 11 from the senior circuit, the National League. Next to each of their names on the chart below is Hall of Fame, and I'll run through a list of those rather quickly. The Rookie of the Year award has been shared twice. once by Butch Metzger and Pat Zachary of the National League in 1976, and once by John Castino and Alfredo Griffin of the American League in 1979. Members of the Brooklyn/Los Angeles Dodgers have won the most awards of any franchise with
Really?
18. Twice the total of the New York Yankees, who now have 9. Who have produced the most in the American League. Fred Lynn and Ichiro Suzuki are the only 2 players to have been named Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same year. And Fernando Valenzuela is the only player to have won the Rookie of the Year and the Cy Young Award in the same year.
Wow.
Sam Jethro is the oldest player to have won the award at 32 and 33 days, older than the 2000 winner Kazuhiro Sasaki, who was 32 at the time. Now, the qualifications for the Rookie of the Year, to speak to your point. From 1947 through 1956, each voter used discretion as to who qualified as a rookie. In 1957, the term was first defined as someone with fewer than 75 at-bats or 45 innings pitched in any previous major league season. This guideline was later amended to 90 at-bats and 45 innings pitched or 45 days on a major league roster before September 1st of the previous year. Okay? The current standard of 130 at-bats, 50 innings pitched, or 45 days on the active roster of a major league club, excluding time in the military service or on the disabled list before September 1 was adopted in 1971. That's why Josh Bell was not eligible last year, but was eligible this year.
Need another amendment.
Okay, so since 1980, each voter names 3 rookies. First place is given 5 points, second 3, third place 1. So the winners of the 2017 Rookie of the Years happened to be unanimous selections
Get on.
for the American League and the National League. Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees was a unanimous selection for the American League, giving the Yankees their 9th. And Cody Bellinger of the Los Angeles Dodgers became the 18th Dodger to become a unanimous choice. And this is the second year in a row that the Dodgers had a Rookie of the Year who was a unanimous choice.
Wow.
Corey Seager did that the year before. But to give you an idea of some of the players that are in the Hall of Fame that were also Rookies of the Year, and I'm not going to take all day with this. Obviously, Jackie Robinson, who the award's named after. Probably the greatest ball player that ever lived, Willie Mays. And I will argue that point with anybody long and hard. Luis Aparicio, a Hall of Famer. Frank Robinson was a unanimous selection. Orlando Cepeda, another unanimous selection, as well as Willie McCovey, another unanimous selection. These gentlemen are all in the Hall of Fame.
I didn't know Willie
That's
McCovey
not a
was in.
What's it?
I never knew Willie McCovey was in.
Yes, he was.
Now you know.
Billy Williams of the Chicago Cubs, Hall of Famer. Rod Carew,
I liked him.
Tom Seaver, both Rookies of the Year in 1967. 1968, Johnny Bench.
Good year.
1972, Carlton Fisk was again a unanimous Hall of Fame selection. Getting down to Eddie Murray and Andre Dawson, both Hall of Famers, followed by Cal Ripken Jr. 2 other unanimous selections, and there's been quite a number of them, and I don't need to go through all of them. Mark McGwire and Benito Santiago in 1987. Wow. Mark McGwire, unfortunately, will never see the Hall of Fame. So with all these players that have won these awards, and since the award was named the Jackie Robinson Award, the Pittsburgh Pirates have 1 winner.
Barry Bonds?
No.
Barry Bonds never won it?
No. Barry Bonds never won that. Sorry. The only winner of the Pittsburgh Pirates was none other than Jason Bay.
Get on.
He's the Pirates' only Rookie of the Year selection in the history of the franchise, 130 years. And you think of some of the players that wore the Pirates uniform.
Roberto.
Honus Wagner, Willie Stargell, Bill Mazeroski, Bill Verdon. The list goes on and on.
Roberto Clemente.
Yep, and Roberto didn't make the. Let me see. The year that
1960, right?
no.
before that,
Roberto
like
would have been in
56 or
1955 or 56. Yeah, that would have probably been the year Frank Robinson won it that year as a unanimous choice. It was either 55 or 56, and in 55, Bill Verdon won it for the St. Louis Cardinals that year. So
Bill Verdon was that good of a ball player?
Bill Verdon was.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
You mean the manager?
Yes,
was the
and
man.
he was the center fielder for the 1960 Pirates when
He could play like you couldn't believe.
he still goes to every spring training in
How old
McKechnie
is he
Field.
now?
He's getting there.
80s.
Wow. Is that all?
Yeah.
Well, you figure he was a rookie in 1955.
So
That was 62 years ago. So you got to figure he's got to be in his late 80s, early 90s.
No, 62. Yeah, 62. I'm thinking 82 years ago. Yeah, 62. He'd been 100.
You're not good on the math. That wasn't one of those degrees from Cal U. Thanks, Chip Hayner. Appreciate that.
Good job, Chip.
Remember. On location, what a great show we had last night at Olive Oil's Pizzeria, 930 Brookline Boulevard. Had great guests. Jill Bell was a Muay Thai fighter, great lady to talk to. Here she was a marathon runner. So quite the athlete through her whole grade school, high school, college, and even till now.
She a vegan too?
No.
There's hope.
No, then we had Pittsburgh Sportsline Hall of Famer return, Jamie Chesney, talking about kicks for kids that she does out in the North Hills. And she's talking about getting into the ring to do some boxing. So she may be a boxer soon. We'll see that. Then we had a true boxer, Keontae Irving,
Yes, sir.
23-year-old man. Great conversation. He's at Tom Yankello's Worldwide Boxing out in Ambridge. Said he runs 3 to 4 miles a few times a week around a big lake. Smoking Jim said something about black people consider that a marathon. So we had a little dispute about a marathon being 26.2 miles. So it's like from being in Bethel Park, running all the way to Monroeville and back. So that's how that would be, but we know Smoking Jim drives that, so don't want to disrespect that marathon there, but that's how that goes. Then we had Billy Nardozzi, the owner, Frank Fanera, called me up and said, "Who's this Billy Nardozzi?" He left me a poem for Olive Oil's Pizzeria. We gave him a few minutes, and Billy's a poet on WDVE, radio, TV, Post-Gazette, just a poetic type of guy, and
Yes, sir.
he had a nice poem that Frank said that he was laughing. He goes, "This is just great. Couldn't believe it." We talked about that today. And then Dan Bogan and Andy Anderson, the Muay Thai promoter, interviewed them. They told us about the November 4th fights. There was even a knockout or two. So it was quite the night of fights, and they thanked us for our help in promoting that they're going to have to go to a bigger venue next year. So we'll see them again. And he's talking about running a jiu-jitsu tournament coming up in the next, coming up in spring. So we may have Andy back on, maybe with an assist from Dan Bogan. We shall see. But it was quite the show. Then I was talking to Frank with Olive Oil's Pizzeria, and he said, "You'll be back December 11th. We're going to have a Santa there for your show."
Wow.
So I may get to do an interview of Santa. So we'll see what happens there. But that'll be December 11th, 7:30 to 8:30 at 930 Brookline Boulevard. Come to Olive Oil's Pizzeria. $5 large pizzas, $5 hoagies. They were selling them, and he also had soup that he sold out of soup that night.
Wow.
Special homemade soup that he made, minestrone and some other different soups. So he said he'll have more soup next time. So Talking Machine might get a bowl of soup as I start that vegan venture like Smoking Jim Frazier. We shall see. But it's a great venue, and our friend Bonnie Mallet said that she's going to try to be there to see our show. She said to say hi to you guys, and she's going to try to be there December 11th. Just contacted me today on Facebook. So that's what I have for you. And that's it for On Location.
Hi, Bethel Park. Remember me? My name is Jason Planitzer. I was the host of a little show here. You may have seen it. It was called The Jason Planitzer Show.
What would you say your experience at BPTV, how has that had an impact on your life?
I found my voice. I learned how to be funny. I learned how to create things. I learned how to collaborate with people here. I developed an interest in film and comedy and making videos. It stuck with me. It continued through my life. I got into working on motion pictures. I now I'll produce small videos. I'll work with producers on commercials, television projects, feature films. I scout locations on TV shows and movies, which involves me reading scripts, finding the locations that need to be shot, and collaborating with the director and production designer to find the perfect spot. It all started at BPTV for me.
Chief, I hope you had your dessert. You didn't change that dial, and all the rest of you folks watching our show, I appreciate all the feedback that you enjoy watching our show. They ask, is Smoking Jim really like that in person? I go, like what? And then they ask about Chip Hayner. They say, boy, does he know baseball?
Yes, sir.
I said, well, he had this useless information I call trivia, and I enjoy it, so they do too. So thanks. I got a half a dozen people in the last week or so. We're talking about you guys and what we do, and proud to be watching our show. And you know, they say keep doing it.
I'm proud. I'm happy enough just to share the little bit of knowledge that I have.
Losing your tan, buddy.
Yeah, I know, man. That's what happens when you have to start putting clothes on when it's 30 degrees out, you know?
All right, we got Steelers to talk about.
Yes,
it was
we
one
do.
of the most boring games that I watched. And as I said for the third time, I went to the Bethel Bounty fundraiser. Great big fundraiser for Community Foundation. It was a true success there. Plenty of food. Smoking Jim, you would have loved all the type of food and desserts that they had.
Wow.
Bethel Bakery was represented there, and Fairway Grill was there, and people from all over the area. Dairy Queen was there.
But I still, and I didn't even see the replay of this yet. I
What's that?
heard them talking about the play of the game.
What play?
Block
The
kick.
play of the game. The play of the game, the players of the game were the punter and Jesse James,
Yeah.
because
Well,
the
the Huskies-
Steelers
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
attempted an extra point, and it was blocked. And had it not been for the punter putting his head down and hustling to
He
where
got
the
in front
ball
of the
went,
runner.
he made him have to try to move around him.
Jesse
and
James
Jesse
was
James.
flying.
Otherwise, could you imagine the difference in the game had it had Indianapolis
lost.
had 19 points instead of 17 points, because they would have scored 2
We would have
points
lost.
there. And so that just goes to show you that, you know what, here's a Pittsburgh Steelers team that they've got some people on it that don't know how to quit. And that's a perfect example. It's the second time that's happened this year.
Yeah,
Vance McDonald.
McDonald did that in Chicago.
Only he waited till the goal line.
Well, you know what? That just goes to show you there's no free gimmies. You got to be serious about what you're doing. And, you know, these guys that want to shuck and jive or whatever it is they want to do on their way into the end zone.
They're leapfrogging.
You know,
they were leapfrogging,
yeah,
too.
act like you've been there before. You know, celebrate after you cross the goal line. I think that's the lesson to be learned there.
Good point.
All I can say is a Steeler win's a win. I'll take the win.
And all I've heard the last 2 days is criticism of the Steelers' offense. And what is the point of an offense in the NFL? Could you answer that question for me, Jim?
Scoring the red zone.
Well, I thought that the job of any offense in the NFL is to score one more point than your opponent. Okay?
Yeah, I think so.
So I think, you know, as long as you continue to do that, you're being successful. Now, the gaudy statistics, not so much. The best players in fantasy football, hey, none of them are wearing black and gold. I don't care. They've won 7 of their first 9 games. This is their best start since 2007. Okay? I'm pretty pleased with the 7-2 record at this point, especially seeing that Cincinnati lost again this past weekend.
What Cleveland do?
Oh, Cleveland, well, you know,
I'm kidding.
they had 1 week where they didn't lose, but they were on a bye. And, you know, that came to an end, and they lost again last week. And the only thing is that the Ravens didn't play, so, you know, we made up some ground on them. But, you know, I'm fine with the way the Steelers are playing right now. I mean, people have to learn to accept that the Steelers have a below-average offense. And that's, you can go ahead and tell me all you want about it.
Oh, they got the best running back and the wide receiver in the whole league.
Yeah, well,
plus $100 million quarterback.
The only problem with that is the statistics don't prove that out.
Yes. You know, the one thing I like is, and like Chip said, you can't argue with statistics, but what I like about it is that I like that the offense is sputtering. They're only averaging 20 points a game, haven't hit 30 points yet this season, but you see the potential, and they have the potential to build towards the playoffs. And if they ever reach their potential, sky's the limit. I still don't see the magic like everybody else in the defense. I think the defense is playing a little bit over their head, coupled with playing with easy opponents and backup quarterbacks. But other than that, if the defense don't get exposed and the offense keep growing, this could be a very special season if they don't play against New England.
I got a question about the offense. I saw Haley freaking out and yelling.
Yeah, he lied and said he was yelling at the special
That
teams
it was Big
coach.
Ben.
But, you know, but to speak to Jim's point, you know, there's been a lot of Steeler teams that we always, of course, you know, us being Steeler fans, we have a higher opinion of the players in our team than the rest of the world does. I mean, you know, we think everybody's a water walker or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
But, you know, for the Steelers to win a game like they won on Sunday is usually the trap game that the Steelers have consistently lost over the past years. And knowing now that you can play in a game like that and still be able to come back and win, you know, further down when they get later into the season, you know, and they go to draw on, you know, are we going to be able to come back? Are we going to be able to stay the course? It gives them the confidence that they may have and may need.
Well, the only difference there is when you get in the playoffs, you're not going to play against a third-string black quarterback. So that kind of rules that out.
And what difference does it make what string the quarterback is?
Well, he's was third string at New England when they got him. He'd be a backup at Indianapolis if Andrew Luck was playing, and there's only one black quarterback in the Hall of Fame, so they must not be that good at quarterbacking. So
leave it to smoking Jim Frazier. How does he do it?
He just amazes me.
My point is, look at their record since 2012. Before yesterday's game or Sunday's game, 7-14.
Well, here's the thing. That
7
Good
wins,
point.
14
That's
losses.
unbelievable. That's
Mike,
unbelievable.
And with winning championships.
Wait, check this out.
Makes it even worse.
There are 5 teams in the NFL this year that have not scored 30 points yet.
Yeah.
Okay? The Steelers are being one of them.
Okay.
The other 4 teams, their combined record is 7-29. Wow. Okay? Those are the other 4 teams that have yet to score 30 points. And then you look at what the
That's why it's
Steelers are
shocking.
doing,
Yeah.
and they're 7-2.
And their
They
offense,
set that on the fan.
and they have the potential to have the best offense. They just got to keep working at it.
Now,
You
that's
know what potential is. They
Yeah.
haven't achieved it yet.
I like what I've been seeing from Ben the last couple of weeks.
Not me.
His
Still-
arrow's pointing up.
He's still throwing that high ball. What's with that high ball?
Yeah, but you know what, though? I mean, when the game was
Aye.
on the line, and this was an encouraging thing to see
Yeah.
out of Ben, because we saw this a lot as a young quarterback, where he had the confidence and the moxie to the last drive of the game.
Sure.
And it seemed like, Ben was dead on.
He hit the guys.
And that
The ball was
that
still a
final
little
drive.
high to a couple of those receivers. They had to reach up to grab them.
But they managed to make the plays. Martavis Bryant, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon
Juju.
Bell.
I love my Juju.
I'll tell you what, he's turning into. He's going to be, if he keeps himself out of trouble, he's got a bright future.
Well, he got a license now, so I'm worried
He
about
got a
him.
license and he got a law firm, Juju Smith-Schuster. Go for all my law needs. My
Guess
law
what?
firm.
You're not going to get much help there, buddy. We got trouble there. That's funny.
So you
but
know what? So
we got
you know,
trouble.
I mean, so we've got a Thursday night game. We got the Tennessee Titans
Go, Dick LeBeau.
coming into town. The Tennessee Titans are 6-3. They are no joke. Marcus Mariota is turning out to be
Good quarterback.
a good caliber NFL quarterback, and it's going to be a knockdown, drag out. I think the quality of the football game is going to be less than what people want to see. But it seems like every Thursday night game is like that. Last Thursday
I'm just
night,
glad it's at home.
last Thursday night, the Seahawks played the Arizona Cardinals. There were 12 players carted off the field with injuries.
I love
last
that kind of
Thursday night.
football. I
Okay,
love that kind
now
of football.
that kind of thing tells you that these players couldn't have been prepared physically to play in a National Football League game on Thursday night. They need to do something. I have been a big proponent of abolishing Thursday night football. I think there should be 2 Thursday games every year. Dallas and Detroit get a home game on Thanksgiving, and other than that, there's no reason. Sunday and Monday night, give these players a chance for their bodies to heal. You'll see better quality play. Maybe you might not see as many stars injured, because the stars are what drive TV ratings. So
The last 2-3 Thursday night games have been outstanding.
yeah, the only problem
they were.
is most of the country didn't watch them.
Well, Smoking Jim has a 96-inch flat screen. He's watching that every second on those Thursday night games. You can count on him being
America be tuning in this week for the Steeler Nation, right?
there. Yeah, they're
The
everywhere.
World Series.
Okay,
the World
so
Series
we've got a
done.
minute left, and we got to bring the Pittsburgh Penguins up. Right now, the Penguins are losing to the Buffalo Sabres 2-1 at the end of the first period. Penguins, they got some work to do.
Yeah.
Sid Crosby has not scored a goal in 11 games. And they are below 500 in their record right now. But still, they're only a few points out of the first place in their
They've
division.
been winning at home. They've been losing away and winning at home, and
And
they've
they've-
had a
they've-
lot of back-to-backs.
They in the second game of the back-to-backs, I think they're 0-6 in, or 0-5. It's incredible, but they'll get it figured out. They'll be ready come playoff time. Don't want to dwell on it too much.
No,
It's real
we're
early
gonna-
in the season.
We're going to have to end this. Thanks for watching our show. We appreciate all of you. Thanks for all those likes on Facebook. Thanks in the control room, Devin Shea, Ethan, Steve. Thanks Smoking Jim Frazier, Chip Hayner, and of course Dave Cable for putting this out and letting us do this for 6 years. Have a great night, folks. Stay warm. It's still a little chilly out there. And I say, stay Joey strong.